Hi, Scott Stride here. This is part 3 of a 4-part series on Lucid Dream Supplements. Lucid Dream Supplements, or LDS, are legal and safe vitamins, herbs, foods, and over-the-counter supplements that can be taken to enhance your dreams in a positive way. In this session, I'll discuss the methods and timing of taking the LDS that I mentioned in the last session. Timing is very important in the effectiveness of LDS. You just can't take it any time and expect results. Each LDS has its own unique pathway into the brain. This pathway is from the stomach to the intestines, into the bloodstream, and finally into the brain. Following this path, it takes time for the LDS to reach its desired peak level, which is then followed by a decline in concentration. Pharmacologists call this timing curve the peak plasma and elimination half-life. Peak plasma is the time it takes for the supplement to reach its peak concentration level in the blood or tissue. Elimination half-life is the time it takes for the concentration to reach half of its peak level. The curve follows a natural logarithmic function as seen in this graph for galantamine. You can see from this curve that 1 hour after taking the LDS it reaches its peak, and 7 hours later its concentration is 1/2. The concentration curves for each LDS are different. For this reason, it's important to know the pharmacokinetics of the LDS you take in order to get the timing right. Another timing factor is the sleep cycle itself. As you may recall, dreams occur in REM and non-REM sleep. The majority of remembered dreams occur during REM in the later sleep cycles, about 4 hours after going to bed. More dreaming occurs then because the REM periods are longer. It's no surprise that most lucid dreams also occur in the later sleep cycles. Considering the blood concentration timing of the LDS and the sleep cycle together, it makes sense to adjust the ingestion of the LDS to coincide when most dreaming occurs. There are 2 time periods involved with taking LDS. One is before bed and the other later in the sleep cycle. What this means is that some LDS is best when taken before bed and some about 4 hours after going to bed. In this graph, I list the main LDS and their peak plasma and elimination half-life times. Most of the LDS work best when taken about 4 hours after going to bed. This means you need to either set an alarm to get up to take it or wake naturally to take it. 5-HTP and melatonin are taken before bed because they allow better sleep the first 4 hours, and 5-HTP suppresses REM during that time. This results in more available serotonin and REM rebound. This graph shows the timing of a typical REM dreaming cycle along with galantamine taken at bedtime and 4 hours after bedtime. When taken at bedtime, the galantamine concentration in the last 3 REM cycles falls below 65%. When taken after 4 hours, it is between 65 and 95% in the last 3 REM cycles. Clearly then, taking galantamine at bedtime is not as effective as taking it after 4 hours of sleep. To summarize, you need to look at the time to peak plasma of the LDS and take it so that it reaches its maximum concentration when REM dreaming is longest. There are a few methodologies involved with taking LDS. You can take one of the supplements by itself or a few at a time. You can mix your LDS like a cocktail to produce certain kinds of dream experiences. This table shows some combinations that work quite well. Niacinamide and L-arginine help improve cerebral blood flow, which allows the other LDS to permeate the brain cells more effectively. To start your personal LDS trials, first purchase galantamine, choline bitartrate, EGCG, and 5-HTP. It's best to start with low dosages so you can judge their effects on your sleep and dreams. This is important because too much LDS has side effects that can ruin your sleep. Taking LDS with food is important, as some of them can lead to nausea if taken on an empty stomach. Good foods are those that are light in sugars and carbohydrates. A piece of toast with butter or jam is good. You can also drink whatever you like, except drinks that contain caffeine and alcohol. Another method is to combine LDS with the traditional lucid dreaming methods like mild, wild, or wake back to bed. When combined with mild, You take the LDS 4 hours after going to sleep and practice mild while falling back to sleep. When combined with wake back to bed, get up after 4 hours and stay up for an hour or more doing some kind of activity. Take the LDS just before going back to sleep. Because some LDS make the brain more active, taking it before wake back to bed may lead to insomnia. When combined with wild, get up after 4 hours and take the LDS. Stay up for an hour doing some activity. When you go back to sleep, the LDS levels will be rising, making the hypnagogic imagery more vivid, which fosters an easier conscious transition into a lucid dream. Keeping a dream journal is a great practice, and when it comes to LDS, a journal is especially important. What I do is record the LDS I took, the dosage, the time, and the date. I also record what food and drink I took with the LDS and whether I did mild or some other technique. I also note afterwards if I had any problems sleeping or I had any digestion issues. Of course, I record the dreams and whether I became lucid or experienced the false awakening. Keeping a journal allows you to quantitatively understand what LDS method works best for you. To summarize, timing is everything with LDS. It should be taken about 4 hours after going to bed. You can take combinations of LDS whose effects complement each other. It is also very helpful to combine the LDS with traditional methods such as wake back to bed. In the final session, I'll discuss LDS strategies you can use to maximize your LD experiences. To download transcripts of the Nova Dreamer and LDS sessions, go to the Advanced LD webpage listed in the closing screen. Farewell.